Today on Ask the Trainers with Skills Strategies International. And welcome back to another episode of Ask the Trainers with Skills Strategies International. We're joined by our Business Development Manager, Evan Chelios. Evan, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Good to be here, and I realize I'm the first guest, and very excited about it.
Yeah, it's great to have you on, and let's take it back together because we like to tell the stories, we like to show the human side to our trainers. So you've got a hospitality background, you're originally from Greece. Tell us how did you get here?
In a nutshell, ever since I remember myself, I am passionate about hospitality. Greece, by definition, is a vacation destination. And growing up in Greece, you get to meet a lot of people from different nationalities, and you can kind of ride off on their way of living, and you learn a lot of languages, and it kind of grew on me. Later on, I pursued education in hospitality, and I was lucky enough to be picked for the opening of the Hotel Grand Bretagne, which is right smack down in the center in Athens.
Oh, wow.
And it's actually the first hotel that has endured two Olympic Games. The first original ones, and the second one in 2004.
Yeah.
So I was recruited and started my career as a room service agent, if you believe it. Now I have to tell you, I'm dyslexic, so a short story. So when people will call up, they will have a room number on the screen on the telephone. And sometimes I would mix up the numbers. So it would be 435 and I would have 4534, for example.
Oh, no.
And you can see about an hour later, a very angry guest will call in and say, "Where's my order?" So that kind of it points out your opportunities and how you can develop them. And with my education, that's what it did. I had many opportunities to grow with the Starwood Hotels, which is now Marriott, and moved a lot. Usually I did a lot of hotel openings, and I did that in Greece, in the Middle East, and later on here in Australia when I landed back in 2012.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And you also told me you did some work with refugees, particularly in the Middle East. Can you enlighten us on that as well?
So what happened? This is a new project that we work with Sandra.
Yeah.
It was, I'll just going back a little bit of the story. When I started working with Skill Strategies, Sandra was very keen on working and expanding Skill Strategies International. We have it in our name, in our brand, and she wanted to expand a little bit more. There was a contact that we came across with Norwegian Refugee Council that what they're doing is to help displaced youth in the Middle East area, particularly in Syria, Iraq, Iran, Palestine. And they were looking for trainers there to have the basic knowledge of vet products and how they can train their trainers, if you wish, to pass on that knowledge. There was a discussion happening back in July 2022, and it came to fruition towards the end of the year. Very excited project. I was involved from the very beginning, and it kind of, when you have a conversation with the trainers on the ground, and they had the misfortune of having earthquakes, they have a lot of crises, the Syrian crisis, and you can see that people there, even though they have very little resources, the passion is there. The way they're talking about education, the way they want to bring up the next generation is there. The only thing that it's missing is to try to give them the framework on which they can start building their skills. And something that made very big impression on me, it was with the Syrian earthquake. A couple of them, they couldn't make it because they had to be deployed to different areas, but what came about, and we were talking about resources and what kind of resources we can bring in. They said, look, Evan, we don't have resources. Sometimes we're being bombed, sometimes we don't have electricity. So PowerPoints and internet connection, we don't have. And I asked the question, so how do you guys deliver this? And he said, Ali, by the way. Ali said, Evan, we have a tree and we have the sand.
Wow.
The tree is our shade and the sand is our PowerPoint. And that's how we deliver.
Wow.
It kind of brings to shine a little bit of light on us on how used to we are to have all these resources. Internet
Mm.
is forgiven, electricity is forgiven. Um, LMSs and computers, we already expect that. But take that away, what is left is just the learning, is the trainer and the trainee, the teacher that is going to pass on the knowledge. And that's the basic of it.
Fantastic. Interesting. It's like really is like going back how like a very ancient way of, delivering a lesson is just going underneath the tree and share your knowledge.
Exactly. Well, coming from Greece,
Of course.
Aristoteles and Plato and Socrates, that's all they did. They come
Yeah.
together and share ideas and observations about the world and how things were working. So it's not much different to what we're doing now. Only now we have the reachability. We can reach far and beyond. Um, I can I have the pleasure of meeting them every Wednesday for 2 hours, and I can reach all the way in the Middle East, and they can accept me in their homes because that's how they do it. The
Mm.
virtual delivery that we do, and it's a very exciting project to be part of it. And it shows us as an organization trying to help and do our bit to help and you know the world and deliver help with the skills to bring up and put more skills in their toolbox to help the displacement youth.
Yeah. And of course, this is a podcast. As soon as this goes out, it goes out worldwide. So it'd be very interesting to see as the audience grows how much we actually pick up in the Middle East, and this would be really good to carry the brand overseas as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's a few other things that are happening in the background that we are in the talks with Indonesia, particularly, and Vietnam as well.
Wow. Wow. So, what do you enjoy most about the RTO world, so to speak?
Everything started with the human connection, and we
Mm.
talk a lot about soft skills, and there's nothing soft about soft skills. You have to be very human oriented. And I think I realized it early in my career that in hospitality, you have to deal with people and you have to be a people's person. And in hospitality, it's all about customer service. However, if you don't get the rapport or you don't get the engagement from your customer, then you don't get the experience that the customer is looking for.
Yeah.
So from my side, when I had my team, a lot of them would seem disengaged, sometimes shy, and you have different barriers, English being second language, or they wouldn't understand the cultural differences between different regions. But I felt that there is a need for skilled staff in hospitality, and every time I would get someone new in my team, I would spend time and train them. And back in 2017, when I was working with Event Cinemas, it occurred to me that I am passionate about this. I would like to train people. And one of the ways to do that is by getting your TA. So whoever is listening out there, training and assessment will give you the license to get your experience, whatever you know in whatever industry, and put it out there and train new people. And that's how that all started. But to be able to deliver that, you need to have a diploma of adult education. And that's what Sandra comes in.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I soon noticed that since the pandemic, every Tom, Dick, and Harry wants to launch an online course, but you got to sometimes sort the wheat from the chaff. Kick out the cowboy operators and just make a quick buck and get connected with the ones who really do care about sharing their knowledge and growing.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of working in an RTO. It's a very regulated framework from Australian Qualification Framework.
Mm.
And that's what we deliver. We are regulated by ASQA and the standards of 2015. So I guarantee you, we don't do any cowboy or any dodgy stuff in our in this RTO. And there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn.
Yeah. So what's brings me to the next question. What's some advice for those contemplating going down this path that we've got here with the grad diploma?
Well, the grad diploma is, and it's very interesting because we all start with the why. With the why we're doing anything, and that's more of an intrinsic value. Starts from within. Starts with the goal. A goal is something that starts from with you, not where you're going. Where you're going, it's the journey, and that will give you everything that you need towards achieving that. When you're doing your graduate diploma, you really need to know why you're doing it. You need to be passionate educator, and you need to pass on the knowledge from you to someone else. And the graduate diploma brings in a lot of things together. It will bring in your experience, it will bring in your knowledge, and bring in your skills that you have in order to push through with the different projects that you're dealing with. I was very privileged to work with Sandra as a facilitator, as a trainer, as a leader that she is. And one of the reasons that I'm here is because of her. A short story, when I was working with Stanley College, I was doing my dual diploma of that, which gives you the license to train for the TAE. And Sandra was the facilitator.
Right.
I was very impressed by the way she was delivering it, the way she was engaging it, and the way the content was collaborative between the candidates. And my contract was up with Skill Strategies, and I saw Sandra and said, "Look, this is where I'm at the moment." And she said, well, "Why don't you look at TAE? You're going to get your dual diploma, so you'll be able to deliver TAE." And that's how she started. So I saw her as a leader, and I saw her as a facilitator, and I wanted to learn more about it. So when I joined SSI, the graduate diploma came aboard, and she invited me to join the program, which meant that we as a team would be working towards real projects, real life solutions that we are going to tackle in order to deal with the organization issues or opportunities, and at the same time, we'll collect the evidence to create the graduate diploma. It was a perfect combination for me. Now, the experience side, plus the skills and the knowledge that the graduate diploma will give you a complete 360 package for any RTO professional that will go out there and seeks to elevate their toolbox in terms of skills and elevate their careers. It's a perfect opportunity for someone that already has an experience in the RTO world and take this to the next level. We're looking at RTO managers that can oversee the operation of an RTO from a compliance perspective, as well as to get all the necessary steps, if you wish, for organizational change and to deliver leadership skills in every level.
Fantastic.
This is just some of the points that we get from graduate diploma. So whoever is interested for this is the place to be.
Absolutely. And moving away slightly from the graduate diploma, because I know as a trainer you bring all your personality into the job, otherwise you wouldn't be passionate about it. What else is driving your curiosity right now, Evan?
At the moment, being a young father of 3 children, teenager and twin girls, a year-old twin girls, I would say my life is full of adventure.
Wow.
But there's also room for improvement, and there's also room for learning. And the next thing for me is to get more involved about how can we deliver better leadership in our organization, how can we collaborate with our teams, how we can bring together ecosystems that they are working independently, but they are connected with an invisible thread line between them that makes them work in a very in a cohort, in concert together to deliver the results with our student. That's where it starts from. My why is to make the world, my learners, a little bit better than it was yesterday. And there is a lot of skills, and we are fortunate enough to have trainers in our organization that have a wealth of knowledge and skills to be shared. So working with this incredible team, having the support that you have from the leadership, it's kind of the place that you want to be, and it kind of sets the place for you to grow. And every day is a different day. Today
Absolutely.
might be a different student. Next day you're delivering hospitality. The other day you're delivering leadership, and the other day you're creating content. Today we're doing podcasting. It's
Hmm.
fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Really enjoying our chat here, and we seem to be running out of time, believe it or not. Is there anything I didn't ask but should?
Uh, why would somebody commit skill strategies?
Yeah.
And there's two pillars into that. One is as a student, and one is as an associate, somebody that can work with us. And the answer is simple. We are, and I can testify to that, is that as soon as I got in, a little story before we end up, I signed up my contract in 2021, and it was July 5th, I remember it. On July 2nd was my birthday. Now, I started with skill strategies on a Monday, it was July 5th, and my birthday was on a Thursday. Now,
Hmm.
when we signed up all the contracts, Sandra saw it, so did Colin, which is our HR, by the way, and this is a pleasant surprise. Monday morning after I did my induction, at morning tea at about 10:30, there was a cake in the staff room where everybody come together and sang happy birthday. Now, look, if you're new and you come into an organization and somebody, well, a whole team sings to you happy birthday, you know that you are in the right place.
Yeah.
So the organizational culture is very important, and that translates to our students as well. So that is one of the reasons that somebody will join SSI either as an associate or as a student because of our organizational culture and the way we conduct ourselves every day.
Fantastic. And finally, Evan, where else can we find you?
Well, these days you can find me online. You can find me at Balcata Center. I've been in Madra, being in training. I am on the road meeting with different stakeholders. There is a huge push from the government to work with school-based traineeships, and there is a huge project there that I'm working behind the scenes. There is a lot of excitement stuff that are happening, both for students and stakeholders. And like I said, never same day,
Yeah.
always changing.
Always changing. It's always dynamic here. So, Evan, thank you very much for chatting to us this afternoon.